This is the end of the beginning. Welcome to today's show. As most of you know, anytime the government causes some type of massive destruction, they will roll in their FEMA camps, which eventually you will not be able to escape. And unfortunately, in the situation in Maui, they have rolled FEMA in. And as most people out there are wondering, well, are the people there getting $700 from our government? That's right. Our government has offered each individual $700, which probably in most cases isn't even enough for a month's worth of groceries with the way inflation is, at least not for a family. They're offering $700 and they're offering food and supplies according to them. Yet every single resident in Maui who is on social media seems to say otherwise. They're claiming that not only is FEMA not providing, FEMA is telling people not to send anything. And people who are residents are actually doing their best to smuggle in food and water. And this is according to many people who are in Maui, in Lahaina, who are on Twitter, who are on TikTok, who are on Facebook, who are on social media. They are sharing this. Now, why am I covering this? Well, I'm covering this for multiple reasons. Because we have our government, as they always do, calling on us to come in and give money to a situation where, well, they created it on their own. So they not only do they torture, torment, and execute people, destroy their lives, destroy their homes, destroy their families, destroy their children, destroy their pets, and destroy their way of life. Not only do they do that, but they don't even want to fund it with our tax money to help these people, which is what our tax money is there for. And I think anybody who pays taxes would be fine with our money going towards Maui and the people of Maui and getting them money so they can have food and water and whatever they need, because that's really what we're supposed to be doing with our tax money. But instead, of course, they want us to donate more money because our tax money is already really busy at work. Oh, excuse me, what is that? Oh, let's take a live look at what's going on over in Ukraine. Oh man, the war zone just gets worse and worse over there. And of course, looks like a super time over there in Ukraine. Of course, not gay enough for me though. Could use a little bit more diversity going on. But anyway, it's another story for another day. I want to talk more about what's going on with FEMA because there's a huge disconnect. And you can actually even hear people at the White House talking to FEMA, reporters actually bringing up the fact that civilians that are being interviewed over there are saying that FEMA and our government is doing nothing for the citizens over there. And I'm starting to think that they want this story out there by design. Not the story of them using a direct energy weapon, but the story of our government ignoring our own citizens, because this plays into the civil unrest, does it not? When you have our government saying no comment, our government ignoring our own citizens who are literally set ablaze. Even if we followed the narrative of climate change, shouldn't they be out there taking care of and helping our citizens? But instead, it seems like they want the narrative to be that they're ignoring our citizens and that there's a disconnect and that our tax money should still go towards Ukraine. But take a look at the White House talking about how there's a disconnect and then saying, well, the people out there, don't really seem to understand what's going on. And then on top of all that, this woman, has the nerve to actually talk about how the people out there and one of the priorities out there is mental health. Their homes have been burnt to the ground. They're looking for food and water. They're looking for loved ones. They're looking for friends who haven't even been found yet in the ashes, but our own government is already talking about rebuilding. And they're talking about their mental health, probably because they realize the citizens there are going to start coming out and blaming the government for it. Thus, our government can come in and say, no, they've gone through a traumatic event. They're saying all this stuff because they've read conspiracies online. And they haven't been through it. They've just read conspiracies online. They didn't actually see the fact that they were set ablaze by, something that wasn't climate change. No, they're just going through mental health problems because that's how they're going to dismiss all of us in the future. But listen to this clown.
Chris, well, I heard everything you said about all the resources that are being brought to bear, but we keep interviewing survivor after survivor who says that either they didn't see any government personnel or assistance for days, or that they still haven't. How do you explain the disconnect between what they're saying and what you're saying about all the resources that are there in Maui?
I think you need to understand that this community is going through an amazingly traumatic event. I can tell you that we have personnel that are on the ground year-round and embedded in with the state as soon as the fire started, so we could continue to understand what resources were needed and help move them in. This community is going through one of the worst things that we could possibly imagine, and the mental health concerns are real, and the mental health concerns are a priority for the governor and his team. We have, as part of our programs, the ability to bring in mental health services through our crisis counseling program. But the American Red Cross has also brought in mental health specialists. And as they continue to support the state's sheltering operations, what they are doing is they are embedding mental health specialists to make sure that they can help address some of the immediate concerns and needs that these community members are having.
So, of course, right? And it seems to me like it's very convenient that this narrative is out there because, like I said before, these people are not tone deaf. These are intel agencies at work. Okay, so the intel agencies are not clueless. The intel agencies know exactly how people are going to perceive these things that they do, how they're going to react to it based on how they display themselves, how they show themselves. And how are they showing themselves? They're showing themselves like I've been talking about for years now, right? We see the Biden administration completely incompetent, falling downstairs, not being able to complete sentences, right? We see all the stuff with Kamala, right? It looks like all of the stuff that's going on, it looks like it's actually happening because these people are incompetent, which is what they want. Because if you realize that there is a conspiracy between the Republicans and the Democrats, then you would start waking up and this would get stopped. But if you look at it, you say these people are just idiots and now now the country's in the toilet and it's never coming out of it just because of these idiots and these Democrats. They can not only keep us divided, but they can keep us believing and how they hurt us. So it seems like they're deliberately almost trying to say and pretend like they don't care about the people in Maui, right? I mean, it seems like it's almost deliberate. Now, the other thing that people need to take a look at here, of course, which is always just very convenient, is Barry Obama coming out. And Barry and all the celebrities out there are doing what? Well, they're asking for your money to come to them through the Red Cross. That's right, the Red Cross. And those of you who are saying, yeah, what's the big deal about the Red Cross? Well, the Red Cross is one of the greatest laundering scams in the history of this country. The Red Cross was founded by Clara Barton. Anybody know who Clara Barton is? Well, Clara Barton is a witch. What a surprise. How convenient that Clara Barton was practicing devil worship 300 plus years ago, or however long it was, but her family members were executed in the Salem witch trials. But anyway, let's take a look at Barry telling you that you need to do the right thing and that prayer doesn't matter and that we don't need prayer. This isn't the first time that Barry said this, that prayer's not going to get it done. Your money is.
Aloha, everybody. Like so many people around the world, Michelle and I have been absolutely heartbroken by the devastating images coming out of Maui and Lahaina over the last week. As someone who grew up in Hawaii, as someone who has taken my family to enjoy the incredible beauty of that island and the hospitality of the people of Lahaina, we now find ourselves mourning the lives that are lost, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the families that have lost so much. The thing about it is, though, thoughts and prayers in a moment like this are not enough. We have to step up, and we have to help those families, and we have to help Lahaina rebuild. And the good news is that the Hawaii Red Cross and Malama Maui are mobilizing to provide direct support to people who are desperately in need. I'm asking you to do everything you can to generously support the Malama Maui effort. If all of us, the Ohana, pull together and do as much as we can to give back to an island and a town and people who have given us so much, I'm absolutely confident that Lahaina and Maui and those families are going to be able to rebuild. But we've got to be a part of that. So please provide generous support to the Hawaii Red Cross and to Malama Maui right now. Mahalo, nui loa.
So prayer won't work, but our tax money isn't enough either. But your donations out of your paycheck, the money that you're trying to put towards food, which you could barely afford anymore, should go there. Our government's top priority should be Maui and taking care of these people. However, we all know that it's not the top priority. Why? Because they're the ones who are responsible for the blaze. So why would they come in and give money to these people when they want them to leave the island? That's what they want. Now, our government's going to take care of the rebuild. That's not going to come out of donations. Now it's going to come out of our tax money when they build this smart city, of course. But they don't want to step in here and provide assistance for these people because they don't want them to be able to rebuild on their land. They want them off their land. They want them off the island. They want the natives gone. So you see what? You see the natives coming out, and the natives are saying, we're not going anywhere, and you're not getting our land. Well, when FEMA stops giving you water and food, you're either going to die there or you're going to have some type of issue trying to get it because they're not going to let people smuggle it in. Do people see what's happening here? Right? FEMA's not giving these people the resources that they need because they want them to leave. Because once they leave, the government has an easier way of taking their land. Oh, this isn't livable anymore. Well, if the people are all laying in the ashes of where their land once stood, what are they going to do when people are filming guards coming in and lifting them off their land and telling them it's not theirs anymore? Well, people are going to probably uprise. No pun intended. So what they want to do is what I always call smoke them out. Right? It's a tactic they always use. Smoke them out. They wear you down to the point where they smoke you out and they just go, look, you're not going to have food or water, so eventually you're going to have to crack and you're going to have to leave. So what's happening is civilians are trying to smuggle in food and water. As crazy as that sounds, smuggle it in. And don't say that's a crazy conspiracy because FEMA might be giving out some stuff, a little bit here and there. They're not giving them enough to have their lives, to be able to, take care of themselves and their families to continue to build back better, as they claim, right? They're giving them maybe a bottle of water here and there to save face so they can film it and then post it on social media and say, look, we are helping. There's conspiracies that are out there. But the majority of people there are saying that they're not letting them access anything and that people are sending stuff and it's getting denied by FEMA. So when they come and they tell you to donate to the Red Cross, they're telling you to pretty much burn your money because this money goes right into laundering. And again, I mentioned earlier, because I've talked about this for years. Anytime there's a disaster, of course, FEMA rolls in and then they tell you to donate to the Red Cross. And Clara Barton, just coincidentally, ladies and gentlemen, it's just a coincidence, okay, that Clara Barton has been accused of witchcraft and being involved in Satanism. These are all conspiracies, right? Because everybody's accused of being involved in witchcraft and Satanism, right? Especially, the founder of the Red Cross, the organization, the number one organization they always tell us to donate to, right? Just a coincidence. They're all coincidences that anytime you look into the ancestry or the connection of these people, there's always something involved with Satanism and witchcraft. Isn't that crazy? Crazy how it all works, right? So the American Red Cross, I laugh because it's so, every single thing that I cover, right? People always call me a crazy conspiracy theorist. Oh, he believes in, Satan and all this stuff. And he constantly, talks about the devil like it's real. All these people are constantly connected to him. Every time I cover a music video or something like that, every single celebrity, you could just look them up and you could see them doing the 666. You can see them holding their hand over their eyes. You can see their music videos involving eyes. They're wearing clothing with pyramids and eyes. They tattooed on their bodies. These are just all mere coincidences, right? It's on the back of the dollar bill. And then, of course, through Freemasonry and all these places, they teach the same thing with the all-seeing eye. No, it's all conspiracy. So don't worry about Clara Barton founding the Red Cross and, of course, being connected. Don't worry about your government telling you that there's a huge disconnect between the actual people who just had their lives ruined, who lost family members, lost friends at the very least, okay? Lost everything they owned. Don't worry about them. Don't take them at their word for what's happening. They're going through a mental health crisis because they've just gone through a traumatic experience. So whatever they're saying about the government is they're just making it up because they don't really know what's happening right now. They can't really get their thoughts together. And then there's crazy conspiracy theorists online who are starting to, talk about these types of things. And hold on a second. Shouldn't our tax money, shouldn't we just automatically be giving them and aiding them immediately? Oh, wait, hold on. I'm getting a call. Let's get a live look into what's going on in Ukraine. I got to get my swimsuit on. I got to get over there, man. I'm freaking my pride flag. I mean, boy, looks like a great time. Just not enough sausage, but still, come on. I mean, giving it utter break. So, joking aside, prayers for everybody in Maui. This is just unbelievable. But again, anybody out there who's watching this, you're watching it and you're seeing it. I'm not saying this channel, I'm saying watching what's going on in Maui. Realize that you're next. We're all next. Okay, these are the things that they're going to do. And then they're going to keep you trapped in the towns and the areas that you're in, and they're going to roll in FEMA, and they're going to decide where you can't, it's unlivable land. Your land's unlivable. You can't have it back anymore. You got to go into FEMA and you're never coming out. This is what our government's doing to their own citizens. And you would think that this would wake up people who are Democrats because it's a Democratic state. So you think maybe they'd say, well, okay, like we could see them not helping out Texas. I mean, that's how crazy the mindset's gotten in this country, right? But you can see how they'd say, oh, Biden doesn't want to help Texas out because they're a gun-touting, conservative Bible Belt state. Well, we're talking about Hawaii here. So if they're willing to do it to Hawaii, they're willing to do it to Cali, they're willing to do it here. And we see that in a sense. They're destroying these places. But of course, they're destroying them so they could rebuild them with their smart cities and get run out all the business owners and et cetera. We know how this is working. But it's almost like they're playing into this now. It seems like they're playing into it. Like they're claiming Biden's going to go to Maui. I mean, he better bring a lot of security, I would assume, because the people don't seem too happy, and they shouldn't be too happy. Okay, it's a very small area, so there's a lot of people, but we'll see how that works out. But it's like they're playing into it. Biden says no comment when asked about the situation. He has no comment. You have no comment about this. Nothing like, you can't even just go, oh, I'm mourning for them, I'm praying for them, or it's tragic what's happened. Not even pushing the climate agenda. Not even saying we got to do something about climate change, which is what I would have expected him to say immediately and all of them to say. Now they're still pushing the climate agenda, but no comment, being so tone deaf, almost seems very deliberate, doesn't it? And this plays into, a government that's gone rogue, a government, which it has, but a government that's gone rogue that's giving all of the tax money to another country and not even helping their own, right? So people stop paying their taxes. The whole government is just going to get disbanded. And people don't realize that that's what they want, okay? Because then they could come in and force their globalist government on everybody. They're trying to destroy it from within. And I think that they're doing these things. It's way too tone deaf. It's way too obvious, right? It's way too deliberate how they're responding to this. And they're not even, pushing the climate agenda that much, which makes me really question whether or not they are shocked that people are talking about direct energy weapons, which I guess they shouldn't be, right? Because of what happened in California with the wildfires, wink, wink. I mean, the direct energy weapon, that they actually knew that people would respond like this, and they're almost like baiting people in. So the FEMA camps out there not giving things to the people who need them, but they want you to give money to them instead of using our tax money for what it's really for. And of course, our tax money obviously can go to more important things than Maui. I mean, they can go to gender affirming care. They can go to, libraries that are trying to fund trans readings. These are important things that our tax money should go towards. So it's unbelievable, really. And then, of course, the Red Cross coming in as always, and the Red Cross's origins to Satan and witchcraft. You can't make any of it up, folks. I mean, if you didn't know that about the Red Cross, wake up. It's all connected. All of it is. Everything you think that might be clean. I remember when I first woke up and I was like, yeah, but this can't be a part of it, can it? And I literally was looking up almost, and not just, I'm not saying Googling, going through books and stuff, right? And I would just come across something, and I'd be like, oh my goodness, them too? Them too. I think it's all of them. It's everything. It's everything, right? And I believe, that ties into the Bible, where the Bible talks about Jesus Christ being the way, the truth, and the life. And Jesus Christ is really the only truth in this world. They've just created a world of lies. We trust in these businesses or trust in these people. They're all snakes. They all worship the devil, and all they want is our demise. I thank everybody for being here. Prayers for everybody out in Maui. God bless all of you and your families.